Good evening and welcome to GC News at 7. I'm JohnnyZillion.
And I'm Hurst26, and here are tonight's top stories.
After a long absence in May, the National Weather Service reports a polar vortex heading into the eastern United States this Mother's Day weekend. They report that, quote, unusual weather patterns evolving across North America, including a unusually cold air mass from eastern Canada, will be heading in, along with a possible record-breaking snowstorm heading in May. The polar vortex will mostly affect northeastern cities such as Philadelphia, Cleveland, and New York City, with colder temperatures than Alaska's. Not only that, southern states are soon to be affected by a huge heat wave that has already sparked wildfire threats and excessive heat. Triple-digit temperatures are expected to be found in Southern California all the way to far west Texas. Whatever location you're watching this from, we request you to stay safe.
The Justice Department is dropping criminal charges against Michael Flynn, President Donald Trump's former national security advisor. In documents filed Thursday in federal court in Washington, D.C., the Justice Department said it was recommending the judge dismiss the criminal case after a considered review of all the facts and circumstances of this case, including newly discovered and disclosed information. The government has concluded that the interview of Mr. Flynn was untethered to and unjustified by the FBI's counterintelligence investigation into Mr. Flynn, the filing said. Flynn pleaded guilty in 2017 to lying to the FBI as part of its investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election, the filing said. The government is not persuaded that the January 24th, 2017 interview was conducted with a legitimate investigative basis and therefore does not believe Mr. Flynn's statements were material, even if untrue. Trump told reporters in the Oval Office he was very happy about the Justice Department's move. He was an innocent man, Trump said. Now, in my book, he's an even greater warrior.
If you're looking to make some money quick, Microsoft is offering a reward of up to $100,000 to anyone who can hack their newly made custom Linux OS. Microsoft has recently created a new compact version of Linux for the new Azure Sphere OS, which is designed to run specialized chips for its Internet of Things platform. In order to test its security durability, Microsoft is offering up to $100,000 to anyone who can breach their Pluton security subsystem or their Secure World sandbox. This challenge is set to go from June 1st until August 31st for anyone looking forward to it. Sylvie Liu, Security Program Manager at Microsoft Security Response Center, states that, quote, we will award up to $100,000 bounty for specific scenarios in the Azure Sphere Security Research Challenge during the program period. Azure Sphere in itself was released only a year ago at their Build conference and has been used by many stores and companies, Starbucks for an example. As Azure Sphere becomes more mainstream to the public, many hackers are now up to the test how strong this new OS can really be.
The U.S. military is banning enlistment for anyone who was hospitalized for COVID-19, a Pentagon official told CBS News' David Martin. There is also new guidance for examining an applicant's history with the disease during the screening process. A Pentagon official said this is interim guidance that will remain at least until more is known about the damage that the virus does to the lungs. People already in the military who are hospitalized with COVID-19 will not automatically be disqualified from further service, the official said. Depending on the lasting effects after treatments, they could return to duty or take a less physically demanding job. Recruits with more severe effects will go before a medical board to determine if they can continue serving. The 65 military entrance processing stations across the country will take temperatures and ask questions about symptoms and potential contact with the disease. An applicant who fails screening will not be tested, but can return in 14 days if they do not show COVID-19 symptoms. Anyone diagnosed with COVID-19 must wait 28 days after diagnosis before reporting to a processing station. Potential recruits can apply for waivers for any disqualifying medical condition, but the memo does not give guidance for what would lead to an exemption for someone diagnosed with COVID-19.
And now let's get a look at your national weather.
Welcome back to GC News. Neiman Marcus has declared bankruptcy on Thursday, making it the largest U.S. retailer to collapse since the coronavirus outbreak devastated the U.S. economy. The high-end department store chain had nearly $5 billion in annual sales, according to its most recent public financial statement. CEO Jeffrey Van Ramdonk said the company and other retailers are, quote, facing unprecedented disruption caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, which has placed an inexorable pressure on our business. According to a statement, Neiman Marcus said it expects to emerge from bankruptcy by the fall. The binding agreement from our creditors gives us additional liquidity to operate the business during the pandemic and the financial flexibility to accelerate our transformation, the CEO's statement added. We will emerge a far stronger company. In a letter to customers, Van Ramdonk stressed that Neiman Marcus had no plans to liquidate. He said the retailer would continue to honor gift cards and credits as well as accept product returns. Service on the company's websites also will not be interrupted. The company said it is evaluating locations but did not specify if it would close any stores.
Trump on Wednesday has vetoed the Iran war powers resolution, which, if it was passed, would have granted the president to perform a military attack on Iran without congressional consent. Trump himself called this a, quote, very insulting resolution and argued that it was based on misunderstandings of facts and law. The resolution was introduced by Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia following the attack on Iranian Commander Qasem Soleimani in January, but Trump has been threatening a veto for a longer period of time. On Wednesday, he also claimed that the resolution was, quote, introduced by Democrats as part of a strategy to win an election on November 3rd by dividing the Republican Party. The Senate passed the bill despite Trump's opposition, alongside the Democratic-controlled House as well. It is also reported that the Senate has failed to override the veto.
McDonald's has kept thousands of restaurants open around the world to feed communities and frontline workers amid the coronavirus pandemic, and the fast food chain remains confident and will continue to do so despite the latest challenge to hit the U.S. food industry. Chris Kemzemski, the CEO of McDonald's, joined Good Morning America on Thursday to discuss concerns over beef and pork shortages. We've got an amazing group of suppliers and an amazing supply chain team, he said. For us, it's really what's been incredible is just through this entire pandemic, we haven't had a supply chain break anywhere in all 40,000 restaurants around the globe, he continued. That said, in the U.S. and North America, we're watching very closely this meat supply issue. It's particularly an issue with beef. Right now, we feel good about our situation, but it's really a day-to-day status, and we're monitoring it. But again, we feel really good about it where we are right now.
If you're willing to use Lyft during the pandemic, you better swear that you'll be wearing a mask at all times. Lyft is now requiring all riders and drivers to wear a face mask, which is just one of the many safety procedures determined to keep you safe, as many states have been toning down their lockdown protocols. Lyft's announcement is following on top of Uber's announcements to ensure face masks, in which Uber is also developing technology to tell if a person is wearing a face mask via facial recognition. In addition to the mask requirement, Lyft also requires all cars to be disinfected and to be kept clean for all riders. Along with this, Lyft riders will not be allowed to sit in the front seat of cars. More importantly, any riders or drivers who believe that they have come down with the virus are not allowed to use this service at all costs. Along with letting go of some of their employees, Lyft is doing its best to ensure the safety of all customers.
Coming up, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is out of the hospital.
And one of Trump's valets has tested positive for coronavirus. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to JC News. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was released from a Baltimore hospital on Wednesday. The Supreme Court said in a statement, her release comes just a day after the court said she was treated for acute cholecystitis, which was described as a benign gallbladder condition. Justice Ginsburg has been discharged from the hospital. She is doing well and glad to be home, the statement said. The justice will return to the Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland for follow-up outpatient visits over the next few weeks to eventually remove the gallstone non-surgically. In a statement Tuesday, the court said Ginsburg had been suffering from a gallstone that had moved to her cystic duct, blocking the duct and causing an infection. Despite her hospitalization, Ginsburg still participated in oral arguments via teleconference earlier Wednesday. The 87-year-old justice has had several issues with her health over the last few years, including multiple bouts with cancer. Ginsburg was treated for a tumor on her pancreas in August 2019. In December 2018, she had 2 cancerous nodules removed from her lungs, and Ginsburg announced that she was cancer-free in January.
One of Trump's personal valets, who is also a member of the U.S. Navy, has tested positive for the coronavirus. This has already been raising concerns about the president's possible exposure to the virus itself. These valets, such as the one we described, are members of an elite military unit dedicated towards the White House and usually work with the president and his family. Some of these tasks may include handling the president's food and beverage, traveling with the president whether on the road or out of the country, and so on. Trump, Pence, and the senior staffers who interact with the valets have been getting weekly testing for coronavirus previously. Trump said that he had, quote, very little personal contact with the valet and described the situation as a bit strange.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said Thursday that no one in the state can be evicted for not paying rent due to coronavirus until August 20th. New York State will extend the moratorium on evictions for those facing COVID-related hardship for an additional 60 days until August 20th, he tweeted. The number one issue that people talk to me about probably is rent and fear of being able to pay their rent, and this just takes that issue off the table until August 20th, he said at his daily coronavirus briefing. Cuomo also said officials will ban any late payment fees and allow renters to use their security deposits as payment. Everyone is just making do and everyone has hardships, etc. He said, we just want to make sure that those people who are the most vulnerable are protected. Cuomo said he doesn't know what is going to happen 2-3 months down the road, but I can tell you whatever happens, we will handle it at that time. And that's what we've been doing with this situation all along, literally in 2-week increments. He said the state is working on relief from banks for landlords.
Microsoft just recently announced its newest laptop/tablet combos, the Surface Book 3, headphones/earbuds, a USB-C desktop dock, and new keyboard bundles. The Surface Go 2 tablet is the same size as its predecessor, but smaller bezels given more screen space this time around, and of course, the internals have had a refresh as well. And their brand new Microsoft Surface earbuds have a distinctive look and promise all-day battery life for just $199. These will be available for purchase as early as May 12th, but may vary due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic.
Coming up, the CEO of GCW will discuss the upcoming Hallway Awards.
And it's Kirk's Day of Days. We'll be right back for more.
get a live feed going now to our CEO of GCW, Mr. Prime Lion. And the Hallway Awards is coming up in June. What can we expect?
Thank you, Kyle. So as you all know, the Hallway Awards is coming up really, really soon, somewhere in June. But we do not have we do have an official date. However, we cannot announce that date until the press conference that we'll be holding. I believe it is next week, or no, it is next week. I'm sorry, next week, May 16th, Saturday, May 16th at 3:30 p.m. I'm going to announce this later on in the server and on the group, but it will be May 16th at 3:30 p.m. That's where we'll be announcing all the categories and nominations. You have the host and so many more. And I just got this in. We're also going to be presenting the actual Hallway Award itself at this event too. So everything exclusive will be announced here. Voting will open on the same day as we do the press conference. So directly after the press conference, voting will be open to the public. We actually just got done finishing the ballot we have. So, and there are, I'll go ahead and say this now, there are 16 categories this year, and that is more than last year's. We have one individual category for each group involved. We have Delirious Games has one category too, Live Studios, and the Roblox Network. Those are the three groups that are involved with this program next month. And I think the last thing I'm really going to say is, like I said, I know there's been a lot of hype around this, and we're really trying to get a lot of things out to you as slowly as possible because I don't want to just throw it out on you like right then and there. So there are still a few things that we're going to hide from the public, such as the actual set itself. And many other small details. However, we're planning on really dropping just about everything major during that press conference, and all groups, like I said, that are involved will be there. The whole entire Entertainment Academy will be speaking there at the event. I'll go ahead and list you the members now. I, of course, am the president of that Academy, followed by Awesome, who is a developer with Boy656. They're going to be the main developers building the set. We have Wise One Out, who's helping us with graphics. If you've seen the Hallway Award logo, that was Wise's work, and a lot of other graphic work you'll see has been done by our great graphic designer Wise. Tay will also be helping out with graphic work. Gamer, he's doing, I believe, scripting on that end. And then we also have JSAC, who's going to be helping out with planning things and just getting the whole thing together and making it look seamless. So I don't want to be too long here, but that's all for now. I'll probably get back to you guys in a few days about the Hallway Awards, but I'll see you on the 16th. Go ahead and throw it back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thank you, Prime. And now it's time for everybody's favorite segment. I don't even know if we have time for this, but we're going to do it anyways. Here's Kirk Jeremy with the Day of Days.
Hi. So let's talk Michigan real quickly. It's delayed to May 28th. I fucking hate it. Not actually.
No swears!
Oh, right. I keep forgetting that. Whatever. All right. Well, other than the fact that I hate how political we split, let's talk birthdays. Let's start with entertainment. We have Iron Man 2 releasing today, and Van Helsing, whatever. The Mummy, you probably know. California Girls was a U instead of an I. Wow, so cool. So we all, on birthdays, it's Mr. Beast's birthday today. Wow, you never see it coming. You really never see it coming. Now we have to give him $1 million. All right, followed with that, we have Malcolm Freeberg, who was a great Survivor Philippines, Survivor Cameroon contestant, followed by Michael Rosen. You probably know him from YouTube proofs, all that good stuff. A lot of good stuff with him. And we also have J Balvin. You probably only know him for Magente, which featured Beyonce. He was also a part of some other rock bands, but we don't talk about that. Anyways, for holidays, we have Make a Book Day, National Barrier Awareness Day, National Children Mental Health Awareness Day, National Cosmopolitan Day, National Roast Leg of Lamb Day, National Tourism Day, National Day of Reason, which doesn't exist anymore, National Day of Prayer, Paste Up Day, World Password Day, and that will be it. On Steam, we obviously have our number one choice, Counter-Strike with Dota 2, Grand Theft Auto, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, Football Manager 2020, Team Fortress 2, Source SDK, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and Rocket League. I'm putting it back to you, the Deaf Boys. Let's end this off. Also, why did I explode him? Hurst too fired.
Well, we had to apologize for that F-bomb, so I had to blow up Cork. Johnny disappeared for a moment, but he's back. That's the news for now for JohnnyZillion and the rest of our team. I am Hers26, and I'm going to go kaboom.
Have fun.
That's
Good
my
night.
cue. That's my cue. There you go.
Saturday now.
What do you mean you're cute?
It's Saturday.
No, it is not.
Oh,
It
it's
is
Saturday.
Thursday.
Here I come. It's Saturday.
God, I wish it was Saturday. Man, good days I'd have if it were Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Yeah, I think we're live, so I don't think we should speak.
Hey, why? It's Saturday.
At this point, they're ready to shoot the overs, but I think we're done.
Are we? Is it?
I don't know if that's the board.
I'm tired of listening to this entire theme.
I have been admitted. I must report the police.
His body just...
I'm reporting the chance to the public police of Roblox.
Oh, no!
Whoa!
Who knew? Oh, I swear.
Oh, did we nuke it?
We're still live.
Oh, I nuked it. Oh, I nuked
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. We are still live.
No, we're not.
No,
You're making up lies.
We're
Who's
still
denying them?
live?
I thought